Hello and welcome to another exciting live stream. Today we're going to be talking about ranking over 21 different Charlotte suburbs from worst to best for 2026. And if you're thinking about actually moving to Charlotte, not just visiting, not just looking for fun things to do, not just looking for entertainment on YouTube, but thinking about actually potentially calling Charlotte home or finding the right area around Charlotte you want to call home, um, you're gonna love this video. I'm keeping things simple, bare. Every suburb we're gonna rank using three categories: things to do, commute and traffic, housing prices, and the value you get for your money. The same rules applies for all these different areas. And I will say this isn't about good or bad. I will say the worst to best is a little bit clickbaity because it's about what is the fit if you're looking for a balance between things to do, commute and traffic, housing prices and value. We're going to look up the actual commutes, the actual best things to do, or some of the things that I enjoy, and what the property values are, what homes look like in these different areas at different price points. And if you live here already, or if there's some suburbs you've been looking at, it could rank low, doesn't mean it's terrible, and it could rank really high, doesn't mean it's actually the best. It just means that if somebody's looking for a balance between all these three things, it might not appeal to quite as many people. So stick around. This is going to be a good one. I'm very excited. We haven't done this much of an in-depth video in quite a while, and by the end of this, you're going to get the ranking list. Right? I haven't done. I don't think I've actually done something this in depth in a while. So stick with me until the end, and I don't even know what the results are going to be because we're going to go through this one by one. So, like I said, we're going to look at three different categories: things to do, both in the day life and the nightlife. So, restaurants, coffees, breweries, bars, parks, trails, events, local activity. Get outside, have some fun out in green nature, and also, what do people do either locally or leaving the suburb for fun, daytime versus nighttime energy? Um, for commute and traffic reality, we're going to talk about what the daily commute experience might be like, access to Uptown, South End, and some of the different job hubs, and also known traffic pain points that you might want to avoid as you are planning out your commute. And also just whether or not it's going to be something that feels predictable and manageable, or more unpredictable, maybe a little bit draining. And then for housing prices and values, I'm going to show you some stats for each of these. We're going to look at some of, a few homes in each area to give you an idea of what you're actually getting for different price points and budgets, and just try to give you a really good sense of the lifestyle. Now, we're doing this old school, right? Good old Google Sheet, and we're going to rank these on a scale of 1 to 5 for each of these. And if you disagree with any of them, fight me in the comments. I welcome it. And also just because, if let's say if you are somebody that actually lives here, people appreciate the perspective, because I don't claim to have to be the only source of information. I just share my perspective, and a lot of people enjoy it. And if you'd like additional perspective, check out the comments section, add yours, and see what other people had to say. So number one, we're going to look at Ballantyne. Let's go to Ballantyne. So I'm going to show you first of all where it is, what it looks like. You're going to notice it is south of 485 on the south end of the city here. And it is definitely one of the more, I call it kind of corporate, affluent areas. There's a lot of business events and things over here. Like my dad came to my parents still live in the Midwest, sadly. I'm working on them. They're going to make it down here. I think they got sick of shoveling snow this past year, so it's coming. It's going to happen. Yeah. So there's a lot of corporate events, a lot of hotels, a lot of corporate centers, especially insurance and that sort of thing down this way. There's also the Ballantyne Bowl. The Ballantyne Bowl is, let's see if I can pull up. It's right here. They just put it in, and this right here is a stage. I don't know if you can really see that. There's a bunch of lawn seating. Also, I apologize. I'm going to be yawning today. I have not slept well in a few days, and so hopefully we're gonna fix that tonight. But for now, I'm a little bit sleepy. So this is brand new. There's also a ton of restaurants and shopping and things over here that are really cool. There's this building here. I forget what it's called. Um, it might be the Bullet Valentine actually. But you can see these really cute little restaurants and um, just very walkable little lawn. It's a really cool place to hang out, and it's not real big like this part because you see all these like mid-rise buildings around here. It's a very corporate area, but if you go just around the corner, um, outside of that, there is the Valentine Golf Course or Valentine Country Club, and there's some really nice residential areas around here. You can see some very nice homes. Let me just show you a couple more. And oh wow, that's crazy. There we go. Some very nice homes around this area. A lot of different residential options to choose from. And I will say too, when it comes to things to do, oh yeah, also we got to look at like the Carolina Thread Trail. There's a couple of different trails around here. So there's the Ballantine Greenway. There's also then the Lower McAlpine Creek Greenway, which, and then also the Pineville, in Pineville, the Little Sugar Creek Greenway that connects all the way up. I'm not sure why it's not showing the actual. Let me see if I can get the. Uh, there we go. You can see the green. So I mean, there's some really good walkable trails for riding, biking, just getting outdoors in general, and some little parks. There's the country club. Like, there's a lot of stuff to do around here. I will say overall, Valentine is probably a 4 out of 5 if I had to say for things to do. It's pretty strong. There's definitely some areas uh, like in the heart of Charlotte that'll have maybe a little bit more, but it's up there. It's very convenient in that aspect. Now, for the commute, let's map from here to the Wells Fargo building. And you're going to see it's like 20-ish minutes, maybe 35 when traffic's really bad. My goodness. It's slow today. Come on. Start refreshing it. That's so slow. Yeah, 24 minutes right now, even with some of the midday traffic. And then if we want to, let's say, arrive by, let's say you're commuting into corporate. We'll say you want to get into work at 7 a.m. because you're crazy. 18 to 28 minutes. 8 a.m. 22 to 35 minutes. It's a pretty easy commute, right? Even the worst case scenario is not that bad. And that's primarily because 485 is just, it's one of the easier roads to get around on. There's also the toll lanes that they're adding along that south side. And so it's going to make it, again, for anybody that values their time, very easy to get around. Um, Even though you might pay to play a little bit when you're in a pinch and you need to, it's not something that you necessarily have to. Now, I'm going to say your best case scenario in Charlotte, really anywhere, is going to be, somewhere in that like 10-ish minute range. And so I'd say for commute, this is still like, it's not atrocious. This is still, we'll say, I won't say quite a 4 out of 5. We'll say solid like 3.5 out of 5 going to Uptown, unless you're commuting into Ballantyne or Arsley or something. Because again, this whole section of the city has a lot of finance, consulting, that sort of stuff. So I'll say overall it's probably 3.5. If you're commuting into city center, especially during peak of rush hour, it's probably like a 3. If you are commuting to one of those closer areas or off peak, it's a 4, maybe even a 5. So keep track at home, I guess. And if you have any specific questions about trade-offs or anything for any of these, drop it down in the comments. I do read all of them and respond. Now, home options and value. I'm going to make you look at my face. I was going to say beautiful face, but it is a face. Uh, Depends on who you ask, right? Let's get logged into MLS, and then we can look at some of the stats. Oh my goodness, it has been a long day. I apologize for the yawn. Whew. Loading, loading, loading. Okay, while actual MLS is loading, I'll go ahead and do a comparison here. So for Valentine, I'm going to point out a few different things. Number one, so the median sales price in Valentine is 522, meaning half of home options are less expensive, half of home options require a more substantial investment than the median. You can see it's substantially higher than Charlotte. Um, that said, if you look at just specifically single family, still substantially higher than Charlotte, but you're going to see that, I mean, it's both relatively flat. They have some new construction options. Primarily, it's going to be resale. And my goodness, I apologize. So many yawns today. The other thing I wanted to point out was um, price per square foot. Median is 257. Again, half of home options will have a higher price per square foot, half will have a lower price per square foot, and then days on market. So right now it's sitting at 10. It is, as you can see, it's a much more desirable, much faster selling area compared to the whole of Charlotte. Now, again, so I don't accidentally disclose any of my client details on here, I'm going to real quick pull up search. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to look. I'm going to do this quick and dirty, so I apologize in advance. I know I'm going to get some options that aren't technically Valentine, aren't technically whatever areas we're looking at, but I just want to show you what's out there. So we're also going to look at stuff that is under contract and closed for the last 6 months. Why do we do that? Because the best homes sell first. The best deals sell first. And so what we're able to do by doing this is see there's 315 options every 6 months approximately in this general area. It's a pretty healthy market for where things are currently. And most importantly, if I put this down to, we'll say, 200 options per page, we can go and look. I'm going to sort this by price. We can look at option number 158. Number 158 is going to be roughly the median, and it's going to give you an idea of what is roughly in the middle of the home options that you're going to be able to see. So this one here is 6.25 asking. It's not the sales price, it's the asking. This, I hate when people use iPhone photos. That's just like no effort. Need to do right by your client. 2,200 square feet, 4 beds, 2 baths. Let's look at some other options here. This is a townhome, 2,800 square feet. Gas for cooking. They've got the, uh, 3 centimeter quartz, quartz. A nice little terrace up on the top level. Backload garage. Um, One of the things I always call out, this is engineered hardwood. It's really not my favorite. You can't refinish it and it gets scuffed up pretty easily because hardwood just scuffs pretty easily. If you're going to put in hardwood these days, in my opinion, you ought to just put in real hardwood or just get an LVP. Unless you don't have, I mean, if you don't, you can get away with it. If you don't have a lot of guests, kids, dogs, anything that could scratch it up, then sure, you can get away with it. It's just, why would you? This is cute. It was listed for 600, sold for 6.25 back in October. which is actually very interesting, very atypical for that time of the year. Well marketed. This right here is also going to be a townhouse. It's a Charleston style architecture with the double front porch, some nice wainscoting. You can tell it's a little bit dated, but this is something that'd be very easy to update. And I think this is some kind of Formica or something, or not Formica. What am I thinking of? It's the thing that was the thing in the early 2000s before LVP took over. So again, a little bit more dated option. It is 2,400 square feet. It's going to give you a little bit more space. This was built in '89. Let me find something that's going to be newer. You're going to notice around the median price, not very many of these are single family. This one's single family here. Um, I don't think that's technically Charleston, even though the pillars make you kind of feel that way. This is again going to be engineered hardwood. I'm fairly certain that could be an LVP. Again, gonna need some updates. And this was listed for 630, sold for 630 in one day. Also in October, November. So, uh, yeah, we're gonna say overall for home options because they do have like there is single family townhomes. I think some condos as well. We'll give this overall, let's say I'm going to say also probably like a 3.5 uh, because, I mean, if we're being real, like it is one of the more expensive areas that you can look at. If you're looking to ball on a budget, there are going to be better areas. If you're looking for it specifically for because of what Valentine is with all the nearby amenities and also I can't comment on schools, but I have had several because of fair housing compliance. Uh, but I've had several clients that told me that was one of the big reasons they chose to look at Valentine. Obviously, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. But I've had several clients that were looking specifically at Valentine as one of the few areas that they wanted to purchase. So I'll again it's a little bit on the pricier side, a little bit more limited in terms of home options versus some other areas, but it is going to offer up some of the some other amenities that might be harder to duplicate elsewhere. So we'll say 3.5 overall. Now South End. Let's come back to the map. South End. I was hoping it was going to highlight it, but it's not going to highlight it. Okay, so South End here, it is just to the southwest of Uptown, Charlotte City Center. It's on the light rail. It's got a lot of bars. It tends to attract a lot of young professionals. And you can see right here, this is where the light rail runs through the middle of the city. You can see there's some mid rise, high rise. I think this might be the Lowe's. Oh, no, that's the Lowe's building. I knew it was somewhere around here. You can see again. There's a lot of little restaurants, little bars. Um, Jenny's Ice Cream, one of the most famous in Charlotte, as well as Hawker's Asian street food, very very good, and a lot of apartments around here. We'll get into the housing here in just a second, but I will say in terms of things to do, if you like to go out, you like nightlife, going to be a phenomenal option. If you like restaurants and that sort of thing during the day, and you want you want a trail, some sort of a greenway. Over here, it's kind of hard to see, but this is called the rail trail, and it kind of goes the entire length of the light rail. Um, so I mean, a lot of people go running along this. A lot of people go walking, biking. Um, it's a great spot to get out. This is all very old imagery. Let's see if we can find something that's a little bit more updated, because they've done a lot of investment in this area to try to make it a really cute spot to be. Here we go, Shake Shack. Um, Let's see. Do they have the new apartments on here? Velvet Tacos also. A classic. Puttery also. It's a putt putt, like indoor putt putt. They have two different courses. They bring you um, drinks and food and stuff while you're playing putt putt. It's pretty cool. Took my parents there one time. You can see it is very green, clean, walkable. Lots of apartments. Um, we'll say in terms of things to do, this is going to be also a solid. I might even say a 4.5. Hard to say it's a full five. If you're going out, especially if you're going out to bars and that sort of thing, it's really hard to beat South End. Um, I'm not going to say it's a perfect five because there's not a ton to do outside of the nightlife there. Like there are things. It's a lot of your daily essentials. Your shopping, um, grocery, restaurants, a lot of bars, a lot of pubs. Now, commute wise, especially if you are going into the banking district, you have the light rail that's going to take you directly there. It is pretty accessible. I have found that traffic doesn't get that bad. Even when it does have its worst traffic, it's not that terrible, just because it's like so many people just commute on the light rail. And so in that respect, again, if you're commuting into again the banking district, so let's say the Wells building, it is 5 or 6 minutes via driving. Let's see, how do I change the? Oh yeah, here. Transit 11 minutes, walking 20 minutes. Like you can walk or bike to work. Cycling in 7 minutes. It's a very, very easy commute into the city. And so, in that aspect, we're going to give this a perfect 5 out of 5 in terms of commute. Again, unless you're commuting somewhere else, like out to the burbs, in which case I'm not sure. For the most part, that's not going to be what you're doing. If you're going to live out in the burbs or try to commute out to the burbs for work, there's probably better areas that will give you, I won't say the same, but comparable lifestyle for um, a shorter commute if you're commuting out to work in the burbs. Home options and value. So this one, let's pull up here, South End. I got to stand up again. I apologize. I'm feeling so sleepy. Now, one of the things I'm going to call your attention to here is there's a lot of chaos in terms of the uh, median days on market. You'll see it in the median price point too. South End is all over the place. And the reason for that is there's just not that many options to begin with. And also, out of the options that there are that is going to report on, a lot of them are going to be rentals, which, as you can see here, reports on the monthly amount. So not the purchase amount. So it's like part of it's just the data screwed up here. But as we go into building a search, let me just do this manually. That'll be the easiest way. I'm going to technically get a little bit of Dilworth and Brook Hill in here. I don't care. It is what it is. So in the last 6 months, 70 home options. It's not very many. And that, again, is including some of Dilworth, probably technically a little bit of the corner of Sedgefield, definitely a little bit of Wilmore. True South End here is almost all apartments. Technically, what is true South End is only maybe like 4 or 5 blocks. It's a very small geographic area. But breaking this out real quick, so and let's just show. I'll show you the full year. 134 options in a full year. Out of those, single families 27, condos 68, townhomes 39. There's not going to be very many options. There's a couple of old developments there, especially for townhomes. Let me see if I can find anything that I really like. Actually, it's going to be right here. One of the properties I personally have considered moving to. I actually made a video of this exact one, 2515 Euclid. It came up for sale last in 2024, and I made a video of it in 2024. But it was built in 2019. It was a development by David Weekly Homes, and this particular unit is an end unit. The kitchen was done exquisitely. It's a really cool three-story townhome. You can see it's very spacious on that main floor, even on top of having a great garage. And going to the main floor and the upstairs, you're going to notice a lot of upscale finishes, like some of the KitchenAid um, appliances, like the commercial style appliances, and just a really nice tall vaulted ceiling. I'm super tall. I'm 6'6", so for me that's very important. And again, this is 735 for this townhome. 325 a month for HOA dues, which is not terrible, and it's going to be some really nice space. This is again almost 1,800 square feet, and going back to our stats, right? We're going to look at the median, the cheapest home option here. Granted, we're looking at townhome. The cheapest option you're going to see. Excuse me. Condos coming up. This is 550 square feet. Is teeny tiny. Coming up for 250. It's a one bed, one bath. 301 a month. Honestly, it's not bad. I actually have a client that's looking for something like this. Maybe I'll text it to him, see what he thinks. The photos could be much better on this. What is that, travertine tile? Personally, we talked about this at great length. Um, I'm really just not a huge fan of one beds because in some areas they can be pretty good. I just generally feel like uh, whether you are sharing um, with a roommate or something, like there, it usually makes sense to have roommates or something because you can just reduce your cost of housing so much. Give me 1 second. Where is it? Okay, here. Um, let's see. Access or direct access to South End. Okay. But yeah, so this one, 550 square feet, and this is again the absolute cheapest that you're gonna find. I wouldn't even really call that, like, honestly, anything that's below your bottom 12% of inventory. So in this case, 143. Let's pull up the calculator real quick. So the bottom eighth. So that, like, option 18, I would never really look for anything below option 18. That's going to be 350. So even if you are looking in what we'll call the South End ish area, you are unlikely to find anything below 350. 350 is like the minimum you got to have to really find something. You can see this is a pretty nice condo. Like, it's got nice tall vaulted cathedral style ceilings. It doesn't look terribly out of date. It looks like it's not brand new, but it's nice upscale finishes. And it's got some decent amenities. Not the most beautiful view, but again, it's 350. Here's another one, 650 square feet, also 350K. Also closed, you can't buy these, but we're just doing market research to give you an idea of what's out there. Some nice condo lifestyle in the area. So if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're gonna find. Very European, the cabinet style. That like, what's it called? I think it's just like shake cabinets. Little bit of a view, and you can see they took photos on whatever day we got snow a couple weeks ago. Unless this was, when was it? Yeah, it just closed. So this was whenever we got that little dusting earlier this year. So overall, I'm gonna say South End. I don't know, man. I feel like it's a 3 out of 5 in terms of home options. It just doesn't have great variety. It has some really good affordability for what you're getting. But the home options, I mean, you either got to have good budget, even if you have a great budget, even if your budget is 5 out of 5, you can afford to spend a million plus. Um, Especially single family. If you want single family in this area, let's see what we're looking at. Single family. I mean, besides the fact 26 options in a year, like it's not impossible. It's achievable. It's just it's very difficult to find anything. Um, and your median is going to be 900. I'm guessing most of these lower price points are complete gut reno. Yeah, like not even habitable. Complete gut flip, and that's 450. This one's 5 and a quarter. Also, it might be habitable, but it looks like you're probably also doing a lot of work to that property too. And it's probably also coming with, let's see, does it come with a historic district? Dynamic walkable districts. Not sure. 1,750 square feet bungalow, very cute. This is a pretty good location. You're still going to be on a main road. Oh, that's the other thing too. A lot of these are going to be on main roads. To be any semblance of an actual neighborhood, you're going to be paying a pretty penny for that. So this one here again, still 555. So this is 100% you're buying for the location here, which is fine. It's just you're not getting a ton of options. You can also see map wise, it's either going to be technically Wilmore, because again, real true South End doesn't really have anything, or you're going to be borderline with Dilworth, which I love Dilworth. It's just, I mean, you can see cost wise over here, 5 and a quarter for a 2-1 full gut project under 1,000 square feet, or you come over here and you're next to a park. You're in a more residential area, but it's a larger home and you're paying 1.6. Don't get me wrong, very cute area. I go over there and play tennis all the time. Big fan. Um, because you can see it's a beautiful finish out grade on these homes. They're very well taken care of for the most part. Um, yeah, you can see the little historic touches here. Crystal doorknobs and the skeleton key and everything. But still, it's just like there's not a ton of home options, so I feel pretty confident saying it's a 3 out of 5 in terms of home options. Next up, let's go to Noda. So Noda is going to be on that near northeast side. South end is over here, right? You got uptown and then going to the northeast. It is also on the light rail. It is also a popular choice for people that are commuting into the banking district and want a really easy commute. The area as a whole has been gentrifying, and like it's insane, honestly, just how much it has changed in even the last couple of years, let alone the last 5 years. It has changed so much. It used to be like borderline run down industrial, and now it's a lot of newer apartment buildings, a lot of newer condo buildings, A lot of the single family homes have been renovated. There's a ton of new townhomes, and I'll show that to you too. A few of the things I'll point out: one of my favorite gyms, well, actually, one of my favorite places to go in general is Dog Bar. Very nice, very social spot. It is a bar for both dogs and humans with dogs. Actually, I'll pull up the photos. It's so cute. Um, lots of play area, and I'll say everybody's dogs are pretty well behaved there too. It's off leash, it's fenced in, it's a good time. There's another Jenny's over here. There's this main strip on North Davidson. That's what NOTA is short for, is North Davidson. And for anybody that's ever been to Indianapolis, it reminds me so much of Broad or Brip, as we called it growing up, because it's very, again, very artsy. The people here are phenomenal. There's tons of live music and events and festivals and things here. And it's nice because it's got all this nightlife and stuff to do. And you go just off the beaten path, and you'll see here all these cute little bungalows and more residential streets. And again, for the most part, everything's pretty well taken care of. The people are super friendly, and you're also going to see some newer developments here, like this. Well, and this was brand new as of August 2021. So there are a lot of things to do here, and Amelie's is one of the most famous bakery cafes in all of Charlotte. It's French, so they have a lot of French themed decor. They have all the macaroons and lots of pastries and great coffee. I'm going to sit back down. I apologize. I'm so sleepy today. I feel like I need to sneeze. There we go. Okay. Fitness Factory is one of my favorite gyms, at least outside of South End. Um, it's a great, like, very much heavy lifting focused gym. Great equipment, great staff. I went there a few years ago. It was just too far from me. And they also recently expanded too. So that's a good one. Black Box Theater. I love electronic music. They have a ton of live DJs. They put on a really great show there, and it's not a very good video. You can see people camping out to get into one of their larger events there. There we go. You can see it's a nice full sized venue. They have a lot of big name DJs that come through. Yep. And so that's things to do in Noda. I'm going to say overall, probably a 4.5 as well, at least for me. It might be a little bit different than South End. It's going to be more events focused and less just bars focused. It still has a great assortment of, uh, excuse me. It still has a pretty good assortment of bars and things to do. But there's definitely going to be more of those kind of attractions, so to speak, like region or area attractions of like more interesting things to do than at least compared to Valentine. Now, commute wise, I'm going to also give this one, we'll say a 4.5. If we're looking at Noda again as the area, and then we do directions to the Wells Fargo building, 12 minutes if you're driving. It's going to be 28 minutes on transit. Um, and it's a little bit too far to walk. It'd be an hour a little over an hour walk, but you could, cycle it in 20 minutes. I'm not sure if I would recommend that. I would definitely take the light rail. But you still have pretty good accessibility. You don't need a car in order to have your daily commute. I wouldn't live there without a car. You still really need a car, honestly, anywhere in Charlotte. But it's somewhere that you could 100% do. We'll call it 90% of your day to day stuff without having to utilize a vehicle. So we'll say 4.5 on commute. Now, for the home options and value, I'm going to zoom out here, get rid of the shape, and then we're going to draw on the map here. Again, I'm making this real approximate. You're going to see there are quite a few single family options. Again, many of these are going to be in your sevens, your eights. You're going to see some nice homes. Like this is 1,500 square feet. More of a historic type home, but you can see that beautiful marble countertop, nice gas redone kitchen. I'm pretty sure these are like real hardwood floors and nice little patio. You will have some yard space in many of these here. Um, and some of them, this is actually incredibly rare. So 3% of homes in the Charlotte area have basements. This is one of them, and this is actually one of the definitely the nicer, better done basements that I've seen. I still get sketched out by basements because we have a relatively high water table, and so even if you have a basement, I don't know if you technically should have a basement. If you technically want to have a basement, and you can see you can also put in a pool there if you so desired. Listed for $699.9, sold for $730 in 5 days on market. You can tell it's a very very fast selling area. Now, outside of that, there's a nice blend. I'm going to show you. So that was 48 options for single family. There's 72 for townhome, 39 for condos. In terms of giving you a nice blend of home options, and I'm going to show you a few for these as well. 5.25 probably is pretty middle of the road, maybe a little bit on the low side. This is, I believe, currently available. Yes, it is. And you can see it's a little bit dated, but it still is like nice finishes, new carpets, nice little patio there, terrace. That would be a townhome option. And then for condos, let's see, 370. Again, let's do it by the math. So out of 39 options, it'd be option number 20 is our median, 385. And this one is active, available today. Let's see. It's cute. Fairly plain, a little bit dated, but also the cabinets and things are updated. It's really just like new appliances, and you'd basically have a newer feeling kitchen because it's new countertops, and cabinets. I will say overall, Noda, in my opinion, has much better range of home options because it's not quite as pricey as some other areas. It is still definitely not the cheapest option by any means, but I'll give it a 4 overall because um, it's going to give you a lot more variety in terms of home options and price point, so you can really you can feel out the balance, right? You're not looking at any sort of extremes. It won't be extremely optimized for anything, but it'll give you a lot of selection options. Now, Plaza Midwood is just south. You can see the highlighted area. and it actually includes part of Country Club Heights, um, which is where Charlotte Country Club is. And I'll say, especially some of the neighborhoods to the east of this, this is technically Country Club Heights over here. A lot of people will confuse Plaza Midwood, Plaza Hills, Plaza Shamrock, and Country Club Heights and just call all of it Plaza. Technically not correct. But the real, like Route 4 and then Hawthorne Lane and then the plaza are kind of the dividing marks between at least Noda and then where Plaza Hills, Plaza Shamrock, and some of the, it's one of the more well known um, like mean thoroughfares people think of when they talk about it. I think also because there's, I wonder if it's on the street view here. They have this sign going along here in the median that says Plaza. When is this from? December 2025? It ought to be on here. I'm surprised it isn't. Unless I need to go further down. I will say it's really cute how they have these little planners. They have those in pretty much all year round. Let's see. October 2022. That's why the imaging's older. They might not have had it in yet. Okay, well, anyways, they have these big letters that spell out, I think, Plaza Midwood through here, and it's really cute. One of the main areas here's the kind of the main thoroughfare. There's a lot of little restaurants and things. One of my favorite is Kayonda. There's a lot of stuff to do around here in terms of like restaurants and places to eat. Where is Kayonda? I feel like I got turned around. It's not there, is it? No, Snug Harbor. Oh, is that Kayonda? There we go. Tacos and tequila. Yeah, this is Kayonda right here. Whenever I'm over here, you can always catch me up here on the you can always catch me up here on that outdoor balcony. And this used to be Coltrane's. Now it is. Is he going to show it? It's because it says right there, permanently closed. Workman's Friend is also a good spot. Dave's Hot Chicken. Where is it? It's not showing, but it is. It's Kayonda. One of my favorite Mexican spots. Their food is really good. I'll say that, so Plaza Midwood will be mostly residential. What there is pretty good, like against some of those spots like Kayonda. There's just not a ton, and out of the things that there are, like there's the Van Landingham estate, which is an event venue, but it's also like a historic estate. Um, you know, I guess I'd say Plaza is probably like a 3 out of 5 in terms of things to do. Maybe 3.5 just because I'll say 3.5 because it's close to a lot of things. Now, in terms of the commute, you're 100% going to be driving. We'll put Wells in here, Wells Fargo building. 32 minutes on transit, you're riding the bus. Maybe the Gold Line for part of the way. And they are going to be extending the Gold Line to where, depending on where you are, maybe you could walk to the Gold Line and take it. Driving 13 minutes right now. Sometimes Central Ave gets pretty backed up, I will say. So honestly, I'll say in terms of commute, it's probably also like I'll say it's a 4 out of 5 because it's better than Valentine in that respect. Now, if you were going someplace like up to Huntersville or Cornelius or something, obviously that's going to be a tougher commute. Not sure if I would be looking at Plaza Midwood specifically, but it could be a good option. If you're looking for something, which brings us to our next set of questions: home options and value. So let's pull up the map here. I think I was going to try to do all of this in one shot. What I'm discovering is we might need to break this up into multiple videos just because this is a lot of stuff to cover. And I am sleepy. My puppy has been active in the evening and won't let me get a full night's sleep in. Keep waking up. So condos, we want to see everything, right? Well, actually, I'll show you. So in the last year, 175 options in totality. If we look at just condos, it's 8. Very few condos. If we look at just townhomes, it is 26. More options, but still, you're going to see very few townhomes. Comparatively, single family, 141. If you're looking for a condo or a townhome, this is not going to be where you're going to find it. Just period. Very residential, lots of neighborhoods. And when we look at the data, again, right? Single line, 71 is going to be our median. So 71, 77, 71. 979.5. Mid nines is going to be your median over here. Very nice finish out. A little bit plain, but very nice. You got your shiplap on accent wall, gas fireplace, island, gas for cooking, some nice light fixtures, nice LVP, nice flooring, nice bath, nice soaking tub, tall ceilings. And again, it's nice. You get a little bit of yard, but this is 8 years old. This is going to be more of a historic bungalow or craftsman style home. What would this technically be? Not a bungalow. I guess it'd be either a traditional or maybe transitional style home. And it's been mostly updated. Very cute, lots of character, hardwood floors. Again, some really nice things about this one, but it's not going to be very large. And this is again $991 is what it sold for, and it sold 0 days on market. So listed and sold same day, all on 2/21 of last year. Let's see what else we got. And that's what you're going to also see here. For the most part, unless something was just completely priced wrong, like completely priced wrong, like this one sold and sat for quite a while, 293 days cumulatively. So I guess it what went under contract, fell out, went back under contract. Again, a little bit newer, nice finishes. You're primarily paying for the location. You're paying for niceties, built-ins, all that jazz. Very nice little yard. It is little though. It's 0.18 acres, 995. Overall, I'm gonna say Plaza Midwood is probably home options and value is probably also going to be a 3. If you're prepared to make that sort of a substantial investment and you're looking for single family homes, could be a great option. That said, if you're looking for townhomes or condos, terrible option. If you're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more bang for your buck or a little bit lower price point, it's going to be difficult to find anything in Plaza Midwood because that's just not really the type of homes that the area has to offer. I am feeling a little bit winded, so I'm going to say if you are trying to narrow down the areas that you want to check out, I put together a quiz. You're already investing all of this time researching your options that you have available to you. You might as well be investing that time into the most efficient, time efficient and effective way possible. So I put together a quiz. I've done hundreds of one-on-one consults with clients and people that are moving to Charlotte from all over the US, all over the world. And I distilled all of it into 7 quick questions. It takes about 30 seconds, and it will give you a short list based off of your priorities of the areas, suburbs, and neighborhoods that match your priorities the best. So stop guessing. Take 30 seconds, save yourself many, many, many hours, and get a targeted list of the areas that are going to match what you're looking for the best. And I'm constantly making improvements to the quiz. So even if you, let's say, took the quiz a few months ago, you might want to take it again in order to just see if there's any new insights as well. So scan the code somewhere, yeah, right there. Scan the code or tap the link down in the description below to go take that quiz. My name's Lucas Roller, your favorite realtor, real estate broker here in the beautiful Queen City. As always, until next time, hope to help you make Charlotte home. And I'll be back again tomorrow to make part two of this. Or if I take a nap and come back, maybe I'll make part two later tonight. We'll see. Take the quiz, and I'll talk to you very soon.